Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Leanne and I love sharing budget-friendly DIYs with you here on this channel. I usually do a lot of Dollar Tree DIYs, and there actually is kind of one of those in this video, but I'm also kind of venturing into some thrifted items. So we're gonna do some thrift flips, although some of these items are from Dollar Tree, but I thrifted them and I'm also using things in my stash. So anyways, I'm really excited about it. Let's get into these DIYs. So for this first one, I have this little Ray Dunn canister I picked up at a thrift store. I paid 50 cents for it. And then I'm going to take some burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree and we're going to keep it simple. I thought about painting this, but I really liked the color of this container. I think it might be a pencil holder. I'm not totally sure what it's supposed to be. But this way I can totally change this up if I want. Hot glue will come off this surface very well. So I am just hot gluing on a piece of burlap ribbon, and then I'm going to take this little light colored twine. I don't know if it's actually a jute twine, and we're going to wrap it around a bunch of times, and I kind of wanted it to be in the center so that we had a layered look, but also to be like kind of messy, so I wanted some going in different directions. So this is a super quick DIY, but we're just going to wrap that around and then tie a knot in the center. And then what I do, I try to make it so that you can see it. I wrapped it around and cinched it, and then tied it so that it was kind of coming together like the center of a bow. We're just going to trim that off, and then I tuck in the little ends underneath so that you can't really see it, and it's just kind of like a knot. Pop a little greenery in it, and we've got a very cute little vase planter piece, and I love how it came out, and it cost me 50 cents. Everything else I had on hand. For this next one, I have one of these glass candlesticks and then this wood decor piece, which is from the Dollar Tree. Now, the candlesticks are also from the Dollar Tree, but I bought mine at a thrift store for 25 cents, which is, better than $1.25. And then I am just going to fill in the hole on this little wood piece with some lightweight spackling from Dollar Tree. I do fill in on both sides, although it probably doesn't matter because one side really won't be seen, but I figured it might as well. And then I'm taking some super glue gel. I bought this from the Dollar Tree, trying to give this a try because super glue always makes such a mess for me. And we're going to glue that wood piece right in the center or glue the candlestick rather to the center of the wood piece. And then I did go around the edges just to make sure it was in good while the super glue was kind of setting with some hot glue. You're not really going to be able to see this, so I tried to keep it neat, but I also wasn't super worried about it. And then once the spackling was all dry, I sanded it down, and I did sand down the edges of this piece a little bit because they're pretty rough, but I didn't worry about it a whole lot. And we're going to paint this whole thing with white Waverly chalk paint, and I think I did 3 coats all together. Just make sure that you let it dry thoroughly in between each coat, otherwise the paint will just pull right off on the glass. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much, and say hey in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, I love sharing budget-friendly DIYs, so if you're into that kind of thing, please consider subscribing before you leave. So now that everything is dry, I'm taking these 2 colors of brown paint. These are by Apple Barrel, which is a plaid product, which I love plaid products, not just because they have sent me stuff. I was using it long before I even really knew the plaid brand. I didn't realize I was using their products. Anyways, I just mixed them together to get a color that I liked. I was just using what I had in my stash, and I took a stencil brush and then I took off a lot of that paint, and I'm just kind of highlighting any of these surfaces you can see here, like any of the edges, any of the points. And then I did the same thing for the top part of this. We're just making a little riser or a candlestick holder. I'm going to use it as a candlestick holder, but you could also use it for like a little figurine or something else. And then I also very lightly dry brushed around the rest of it. So I did the red edge here, which was a little bit thicker just because of the texture of the wood, and then across the top, and I did do a little bit more on the candlestick, but we're mainly highlighting just the edges here. And then, of course, for me, I always love to seal everything in with Mod Podge. I just feel like it helps prevent paint from chipping, especially when I'm using glass or ceramic or metal. But I just went ahead and put some matte finished Mod Podge across the whole thing. And then here is how I styled it, at least for this. It'll be styled similarly with a flameless candle on top, and I love how this came out. For this next one, I have this little piece that I picked up from a thrift store. It has a little chip in the top, but it's on the inside and you can't really see it. But because of that little chip, they gave it to me for free. It would have only been $0.25, but they gave it to me for free. So I was pretty excited about that. So we're going to go in with Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery. And once again, I'm going to give this about 3 coats, letting it fully dry in between every coat, just so that the paint doesn't peel back off of this. Now, I love using Celery and Moss, which are 2 Waverly colors, but I just love using the different tones of green for my everyday decor, but I also feel like it fits in perfectly with spring. I do end up painting the bottom of this, although it's not totally necessary, but I just figured if someone saw the bottom, I wanted it to look like it was kind of supposed to be green. But we're going to make sure to get into all of those little nooks and crannies, all of the little details, give it enough coats until it is a solid finish. So you can see it is now dry. I didn't do as many coats on the bottom, but that's okay. We're going to cover that up. So I'm taking some Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and once again with a stencil brush with very little paint, I'm going to go over the whole thing, but I'm emphasizing all of these little ridges and raised pieces, all of the detail here. I was going to go in with some wax from Waverly and really just enhance all of these little textures on this piece, but I realized when I went to do it that I have the clear wax, which is great for sealing stuff, but I needed the white wax. So I'm gonna have to add that to my list and pick that up because I really want to mess around with the wax. I haven't really done that. So I just went over it with the white paint and I sped this up quite a bit, but you can see I just went over the whole thing and just tried to go pretty light on it. And then once again, I went over with the Mod Podge just to seal everything in. And I did, yeah, just everything so that it doesn't come off when I'm setting it down on a piece of furniture or something. And I just put a little bit of greenery in it, and I love how this came out. I think it's very cute, and it didn't cost me anything, so that's even better. Okay guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up because that helps me out so much. And if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so before you leave so you don't miss out on my future videos. That's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.